everybody. Welcome to Talk Your Ish Liz podcast. I am Liz, and I hope you guys are all doing great today. Well, today I want to talk about something called nepotism. If you do not know what nepotism means, I'm going to give you the definition, okay? So, nepotism is the practice amongst those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs, right? So, again, I want to say that this is just how I feel. This is my personal opinion. No one else's. And I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words and why I just stuttered, but it's my personal opinion, nobody else's, okay? So, I'm not saying that nepotism is a really bad thing. In certain instances, it is, especially when people who are qualified for things are looked over because someone wants to give a job to a family, a friend of the family, or something like that. But I also want to explain why nepotism do not work for us in the community, right? And I also want to say people benefit greatly from the people they know. Okay. So with that being said, I want to say this. A lot of times, and you guys probably have experienced it, we all have experienced it, where you've been in a position, you've went for a position that you knew that you were qualified for, Your resume speaks for itself. And you just like, hey, I know I got this. But the person who you may be doing the interview with have already made up in their mind that they're going to give this job to either their homie's wife or husband, or their friend's kids. This is something they already have laid out. Or you might not even get the interview. They probably don't even put the position up that is something that's open. They might just give the job to somebody they know just because. And I know it sucks. And I'm going to explain as to why it do not work for us and the community, right? Again, these are my opinion, no one else's. And I'm just, just having a conversation, just put it out there for those who don't know what nepotism is. So it don't work for us because we kind of don't look out for each other. Let's just keep it real. One thing about the community, and I'm going to use the word community to just be politically correct. In the community, we don't make sure that we are straight. Since the beginning of time, we have never looked out for each other. We have never really stood up for each other. A lot of times it takes for something very tragic to happen before we will actually get together and march and fight for the cause. But in just a regular everyday life, we don't do it. And a lot of times, and I'm not saying that this is what it is, but this is what it feels like when you're dealing with us, right? For some reason, it seems as though when one of us are put in a position, or given a position of power, we refuse to put someone else that looks like us in a position of power as well. And I feel like it's something that's in the community. It's like deep in the community, and it sucks. And you guys who are listening and watching this know that I'm telling the truth. No matter what job you've been on, we will not look out for us. Like everybody else in every single other community, no matter what it is, race, religion, creed, color, will look out and make sure they are straight. But this is making sure they are straight on the grounds that this person is qualified to be in the position that they're looking for. But for some reason, the us's will do everything in their power to make sure that they are the only us's out there. Because for some reason, and I don't know why this is the mentality, because I've been a victim of it, of the us's, where the us's didn't want to give me the opportunity. Strictly because it wasn't that I wasn't qualified. Listen, any job that I've ever worked, in any position that I've ever applied for, I already know that I'm qualified for. But a lot of times when you are going into situations where the people are friends with each other, you can forget it. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because they still going to hire their friend. It's the nepotism, right? So, what up, my man? Because for some, I don't understand. I feel like we as a people have to do better. And I'm not saying just give jobs out just to be giving them out, even though other people do it. But we have to make sure we're politically correct in doing it, because our heads will be chopped off. Trust me, they be ready to chop our heads off at the drop of a dime. Okay? We don't get the same benefit as others. We just don't. Okay? But when we do get that benefit, and we know that there's someone that can benefit from this also, who is qualified for the job, we won't give it to them. Because for some reason, we want to be the only one of us sitting at the top. For some reason, we scared to share that space with each other. Like, I don't know why it was embedded from, I don't know if it's some shit from slavery, you had the house N-word, and you had the outside N-word, and I don't know if that's where the beef started. But this beef has been going on for 400 years. We gotta stop it. We have to stop it. We have to learn to work together. We have to learn to stick up for each other. And we have to learn that if one of us is qualified for the job, and we are in a position to hire them, we cannot be scared to hire someone that looks like us, because we want to be the only us at the top. There is so much room at the top for all of us, without us having to eliminate us in order for us to make it. Do y'all feel what I'm saying? Like, do y'all feel me? Am I making sense? Because it's like, we'll chop each other down. We will come up with all the I'm going to use myself as an example, right? I have been told by us's how they didn't feel like I fit the description, qualified for a job, when I was more qualified for the job than the person who was interviewing me. I've been there, but I know, because in the back of my brain, I already know when I do an interview with one of us, it's like you have to fight 10 times harder, because the us's that's doing the interview already don't want to give you black ass the job. They already don't want to give you the job, because the first thing the us's is thinking is that you're going to replace them. It's like they want to be at the top by themselves, when there is space for all of us. Don't you think it's weird in other communities, they can find space for all of themselves at the top, and we stand in the way of each other because we want to be the only one? It is just like, we have to stop it. I feel like we have to stop it. And I mean, sometimes you have to use nepotism at your advantage. Like, you have to use nepotism sometimes to maybe help us out, because a lot of times we ain't gonna get it from someone else that don't look like us. And it is what it is. It's the truth. I mean, it's the sad truth, but it's the truth. And again, I'm not saying that nepotism is a bad thing, but I'm not saying that it's a good thing, because a lot of times people are looked over for positions strictly because this person wants to hire their friend, their brother, their cousin, their cousin's cousins, their great aunties, nephews, cousins, next door neighbor. Like, they want to hire that person, whether that person is qualified or not. And us, again, nepotism will work for us, because we don't want to hire our cousin, our brother, our sister, our next door neighbors, niece, nephews, on the other side of the town's brother. We don't want to do that when it comes to us. I mean, it's hard for me to explain it, but I know if you're watching and listening to this, you get what I'm trying to say. Like you get close. Do you understand my cry? Like but I know that y'all have experienced it. I know y'all have seen it. I know y'all have seen the nepotism in your workplace. I know where you work, you've seen it. Even if you say you haven't, your ass have. Like, you can lie you want to, you've seen it. But it don't work for us because we don't know how to stay together. Like, we rather fight, tear each other down, and just not help each other out. Like, I don't know if it's some shit that's in our blood. It is. But, yeah. I digress. And that's all I'm going to say about nepotism. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Y'all, I am like talking in circles because I am trying my best to not say the wrong thing. And I'm trying to be politically correct all at the same time. With that being said, just pay attention to your surroundings when nepotism comes into play. Again, nepotism is the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. That alone, I mean, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, nepotism. But anywho, this has been Talk Your Ish Liz podcast. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Nepotism. Blah, blah, blah.